Alright, welcome to the channel. This is Peck DCG. I'm going to be showcasing the Haven deck that I use to get my buy cards at my local shop. This is the Karula deck that I've been playing on the channel. There are a few showcase or gameplay videos of what I have been playing with. Alright, to start off, I'm running 3 0-cost focus. This card can't be played during your turn. It's a quick, and if you have at least 2 play points, it heals your leader 1 and draws you a card. 3 copies of that. Then Angelic Snipe, 1-drop quick, select an enemy follower on the field, deal it 2 damage. 3, the Saviors. Most of the time you're going to be choosing the second ability of it, which is select an enemy follower on the board with 2 defense or less and banish it. But this can also search out your Marwyn from the Omen's Eternal set. Next, 2-drop quick, surefire bullet, deal 3 damage. If it's an evolved follower, deal it 4 damage. Then 2 black and scripture, select an enemy follower with 3 defense or less and banish it. This is good for getting around last words on a lot of different cards in the game. It can also banish Disdain's followers, so they can't revive the guy who pings and draws them a card. It's also good if you don't one-shot an egg. You can weaken it and then banish it, so it'll be less for the explosion card because Humpty Dumpty won't be in the drop. It's also good for heroics, as they need 2 heroics in the cemetery to proc all of their abilities. Next, 3 Craving of Splendors. Quick spell. The first 2 lines of text don't really matter. The only thing that matters is select an enemy follower on the board, deal it 4 damage, and heal 1. This is just... It heals you, and surefire bullet doesn't always deal its 4 damage. Next, 4 Alkalites Light. Select an enemy follower on the board, banish it, and give your leader 2. This is one of the reasons why I'm not too worried about the Kuwan matchup, as you can sometimes, in the late game, you can leave up 8 mana. So they could play 2 Kuwans, but when they get the extra turn, the 2 Kuwans won't get to swing into you, as you'll be able to banish them and heal 4 if you have 2 of these in hand. Also, all these banishing effects do slow down Kuwan a little bit, because his followers with Omnuoji, or whatever it's called, they won't start counting towards Kuwan because they won't be in the cemetery. They'll be banished. 1 Execute. Select an enemy follower on the board and destroy it quick. Mainly this was just to out Leonidas if for some reason you didn't banish it, but you got plenty of ways to banish it. In the Haven mirror match, they could also establish that amulet where they can't lose the game and you can't win the game. So if that amulet's on board and you get into a situation where they're decking out, they won't lose from deck out. So you can execute that amulet and force them to lose the game. Next is 4-drop Star Torrent. This is a really good card in specifically your dragon matchups, as it is a 4-drop quick, deal 3 damage to each engaged enemy follower on the board. If there's an amulet on your field, heal your leader 2. Most of the time you won't be getting the heal leader 2 effect, but this is a way around Forte's aura, as she is a 7/3 who swings at you. This doesn't target, so you can kill her before she does any damage to you, which essentially means that they didn't do anything on their turn. They're 1 less evolved Forte in their evolved deck, and you're still at the same health total. I am running 1 Amulet, Sacred Plea. 1-drop Amulet, you can tap it to draw a card, or you can pay 2 and tap it to draw 2 cards. It's just for more consistency in the deck. I could see people cutting it for any of the really extra quicks in the deck. You could cut it for another surefire bullet or black and scripture if you want to. I just like it to have a turn 1 play going first, because Angelic Snipe can be cast on the opponent's turn, but cards like the Saviors can't be used on the opponent's turn. So it's just another turn 1. All right, next going into the followers. Best Havencraft follower right now. Boost Kicker. 2-drop, 2/2. On fanfare, pay X, and you deal X damage to each enemy follower on the board. At the start of your end phase, recover 1 play point. He is really good because if they go wide, you can clear. And I am not running Jane d'Arc, so he is a pretty good substitute for it, as I don't have room in the Evolve deck for her. Also, he will get around Aura, so if a sword deck Armor of the Stars, you can still clear some of their followers. Next is 3 copies of Phantom Blade Wielder. 2 cost, 2/2, evolves for 1. At the start of your end phase, if you have at least 2 play points, select an enemy follower on the board and deal it 2 damage. We're running 2 of her evolve, and on evolve, select an enemy follower on the board, deal it 2 damage at the start of your end phase. She does the same thing. If you have 2 play points up, deal 2 damage. If you're going second and you have the evolve points, this is a really good follower to drop on a sword deck early, or even an abyss deck, as you just dealt with one of their followers. Now on their turn, they can play something, then it comes back to you and you have 3 play points up. You can now play an Angelic Snipe or the Saviors, and then use her to deal 2 damage somewhere. Next, 3 Karlu. 3-drop, 3/3, evolves for 1. And at the start of your end phase, if you have at least 2 play points up, deal 2 damage to each enemy lead. If you have at least 4 play points up, draw a card. If you have at least 6 play points up, select an enemy follower on the board and destroy it. Once you get to 10 mana, he is an amazing play because you can pay 3 for him, pay 1 to evolve him. And on evolve, he has the same ability, just before you start checking any of his effects, you recover 2 play points. So with 10 play points, if you pay 4, you get down to 6, he recovers 2, so he'll keep you at 8, and then you'll be above 6, so you can select an enemy follower, draw a card, and deal 2 damage to the enemy lead. All right, next is the Apostle of Repose, which we'll run 3 of. It is a 3-drop, 2/4. At the start of the opponent's main phase, recover 1 play point, and evolves for 2. On evolve, she will select a reserved enemy follower, so that's anything standing. And at the start of your opponent's main phase, you recover 2 play points, and she becomes a 3/5. She is good against the Forest matchup if they leave anything standing. I'm trying to think. She's nice to also KO Prime Dragon Keeper, is one of the big things that I've KO'd with her, or banished with her. Alright, next is 2 Marwins, 4-drop, 4/4. Evolves for 4, or you can evolve by skipping your next turn. On evolve, he will increase your maximum play points by 1. He will give your leader 3 health and draw you a card, and he becomes an 8/8 with Warden Aura. The only time that you'll be skipping your next turn is if you've successfully used your quick spells, and your quick spells, Phantom Blader, to kind of keep the board clear. If your opponent doesn't have any cards on board and you are going into your 4-mana turn, this is most of the time a safe play to pay 4 for him and just go ahead and involve him and then ward up. Unless it is the Kuon matchup, and then you just evolve him and leave him standing, since he has Aura, and as long as you don't tap him, Kuon and Runecraft decks can't really touch him. They have I think it's 7-drop board wipe spell that does 6 damage to the board, so that won't even be able to really clear him. So then you'll want to be keeping your quicks up to protect him in the Kuon matchup, because they won't be able to touch him. You skip your next turn. Now you go to 6 play points. And as long as they didn't put up a aura or ward card, he can start hitting the opponent and pressuring them for 8. So running 2/2 of him. Then 2 Deus Ex Machina. She is a 5 cost, 4/6. At the start of your end phase, choose one of the following. Discard your hand and draw 4, or recover 4 play points. She is really good with Karula because with 0 play points, you can choose to use her ability first to recover 4, and then use his ability to recover 2, and then he'll get to do his whole line of text. She's also a safe play on 5 to just play her down. She is 4/6, so she's kind of hard to remove for most decks. And then just recover that 4 play points and leave that up for your quick spells. Next is 2 Dark Jane, one Dark Jane and 1 Evolved Dark Jane. She is a 6 cost, 5/5, evolves for 1. Fanfare, deal 2 damage to each other follower on the board and give each other follower on your field 2 attack. And then on Evolve, if your leader is at least 5 health, select an enemy follower on the field, deal 4 damage to it and both leads, and she becomes a 6/6. She is the way for you to really close out the game. She can buff up Marwyn, turning him into a 10/6. The damage she does to the board doesn't really affect Apostle of Repose. It will actually turn her into a 5/3. But really, it's just for closing out the game the longer the game goes. Then 1 of Lucifer, 7 cost, 6/7. He's from set 1. He is a ward. He evolves for 0, and at the start of your end phase, he heals you 4. On Evolve, he becomes an 8/7 with Bane, and at the start of your end phase, deal 4 damage to each enemy lead. Most of the time, it is, if your health total is good, you can play him on 7 and use his heal 4 to kind of keep yourself safe. And if he survives for 1 turn, evolve him the next turn, try to get into the opponent's life for 8, and then his end of game effect will deal 4 damage. Honestly, after playing the deck, there's not a whole lot I would consider changing. Maybe the Star Torrent, if I didn't expect to see a lot of dragon decks. Probably upping, like I said, Surefire Bullet or Blackened Scripture. But all around, I enjoy this deck. It's a lot of fun to play, not fun to play against. But if anyone's ever played Control in any card game, they'll know that. All right. Thank you for watching the video, and like and subscribe.